afternoon, Mr. Collinsger. How are you doing today?
Catherine Lippincott, I'm doing so freaking fantastic. I can't even... Well, I guess I can tell you. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now how great I'm doing, and it's a beautiful day. And what a lovely time to record a podcast.
Gosh, beautiful day.
Beautiful day. Honestly, though, the weather, turning, getting a little bit of that fall air.
It actually has been like so nice out.
I know. You gotta love it.
Not to do the talking about weather thing, but it actually has been like remarkably nice.
It's been really beautiful. It's been really, really nice to work outside and then also just, be outside when you get home. Enjoy that.
Oh, yeah.
Enjoy that outdoor time with your family. You know what I'm saying?
Could be better.
What could be better?
What could
What
be
do you
better?
got going on today? Today special for any reason? You got anything special about today?
It's a Birds game.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's not even what I was talking about, but yeah, that's right. That's right.
What were you talking about?
Don't you dare. Stop it right now. God, I hope she's not listening.
My Layla?
It's your dog's birthday.
It is my dog's birthday, yeah. Yeah, she's actually sitting up here with me, so.
Oh, what a good girl. And
Yeah.
and it's your cat's birthday?
Well, yeah. Both of these
But it's
pets have
actually
made
neither
up
of-
birthdays
yeah,
because we don't know. So, technically, we already picked Layla's as a 4th. Tow Truck the cat is the 6th. I tried to combine them to both be on the 4th. Pat did not like that. He said each pet should get their individual birthday. So, we're going to hold off on celebrating Skeeter's because it will be his first. Also, Tow Truck, Skeeter, same cat. He has many different names.
Okay. Good to know. Thank you for clarifying that there.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Yep.
that.
No problem.
So let me get to the bottom of this. Okay. So
Okay.
typically you get these are rescued animals.
Correct.
And they're pretty tight-lipped on when they were actually born. They don't want to give up the actual
They keep
date.
that to themselves, yeah.
Yeah.
Identity
yeah.
theft and all. You get
They're
it.
like
You're already kidnapping them. What do you want? Their information as well?
Exactly. They're like Dominican baseball players. They don't want to tell you your real age. You know what I'm saying? Anyway,
Is that a thing?
that's definitely a thing. Yeah, it's like they'll have because baseball's huge down there. Baseball's really big in the Dominican Republic, and there's a lot of you'll see like 14-year-old kids getting signed by like the Yankees or whatever. I don't know how they get around. How they're signing kids at like a young age. I don't know what the actual deal is with that, but yeah, they look like
into that.
yeah, they look like they're in their mid-20s because they probably are. You know what I mean? You got a better
funny.
chance of getting signed if you're built like a 26-year-old, but you say you're 14.
Yeah.
So
That checks out.
anyway, typically, when you have a rescue animal, you go with a gotcha day. Is this even close to the gotcha day, or is this just completely random?
No, well, both of these, if I were adopting an adult animal, then I do the gotcha day. These 2 particular animals, Layla was when I got her, they said she was a 3-month-old puppy, so we just took the day we got her, minus 3 months. That's her birthday.
Gotcha. Okay.
Skeeter was 1 month when I got him, so I just minused 1 month.
Okay. I thought you were just kind of going willy-nilly
Arbitrary?
here.
No.
I thought you were
There
going
was math
arbitrary.
involved. But if it was an
Okay.
adult animal, I would not try to figure it out. I would go with, these were just kind of loosely, I could probably get close. So that's what I went with.
Yeah. Well, okay.
Until
good
they
to
tell
know.
me their real birthdays, I'm gonna keep guessing.
They probably will eventually. But happy birthday to the both of them. I hope that
Really exciting stuff.
all their birthday dreams come true.
Yeah, me too.
Probably just lay
Me too,
around
me
and
too.
get pet. And they'll be happy.
That's probably it, yeah.
We can learn a lot from that. You know what I mean? God,
Sure.
what I wouldn't give to just have somebody just, pet me and give me treats all day.
Just napping in the sun whenever you wanted to.
That would be great. That would be
nice.
great. That would be great. But all right.
All
Anyway,
right, anyway. How's your week going?
on my weeks, I was gonna tease a little bit about what we're gonna be talking this week, and that is the death of high design, the minimalistic move in all things branding design to eliminating the character of the past is what we're talking about here, really. And we're going to be touching on some of those the things you might have heard about in the news, maybe on social media, been circulating around some really really divisive topics here, and we'll get to them in a little bit. But anyway, my week's been great. Like I said, the weather has been beautiful. We did have a little bit of a hiccup, which is our first of this type on a project, and that is we laid a whole patio, and the client decided they weren't thrilled with the color. They weren't thrilled with the color, and they felt bad about it. They, you know, they didn't want to have that conversation, but hey, they're paying a lot of money for this backyard. It's the backyard of their dreams. I'm glad that they were honest with me and said, "Ah, we love everything, but there's something about this color. It has a blue hue to it, and I don't know. We don't want that. We
Yeah.
just something about it that wasn't vibing with them, and they brought it to my attention, and we went through a couple different options. Like, hey, maybe we'll add in inlay here so it takes up some of these pavers, and it'll be less. Uh, there'll just be less of them, so it'll be more of an accent. We decided, you know what? We're switching them out. We're switching them out to a different color, and we're going with more of a neutral gray. So a little bit of a hiccup. A little bit of a hiccup.
But not honestly, you re-steered the ship in a quick direction. So, I think
Thank you.
it was about an hour of a little bit of panic, like, if we can't get these right now, we're gonna have nothing to do all week, and, you made sure that didn't happen. So, I
True.
think you did a great job at, tempering how panicked you were, fixing the situation, and then just plowing forward, and it all went pretty smoothly. And we got them
Yeah.
up very in a organized and minimally destructive way, and then we just relayed them, and it went down pretty good.
It did. It did. And it actually did go really fast. We had all hands on decks. All six of
Mhm.
us tearing up the pavers, putting them in the skid steer bucket and dumping them into a dumpster. But these pavers they're going to get recycled. So it's not going to a
Yeah.
landfill or anything. Yeah, it's a shame that we couldn't like reuse them, but repalletizing them, transporting them again, like it would have been a lot of work, really difficult to do, and a lot of them were already cut. Um,
Yeah. And Nick
you
did
know,
take some of them, so he got
he did,
some.
yeah. Yeah,
He
that's
made out
true.
on the deal.
So, it's a shame that we had to get rid of them, but they do get recycled. So they don't go to a landfill. They get turned into recycled concrete and will be used as a base of a road or a driveway or a patio in the future. Our crushed dreams will pave the road to the future.
Mhm.
But hey,
Yeah.
not the thing you necessarily want to hear. It's like initially like oh no. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I don't like what I'm hearing. This is no good. What are we gonna do? They're already down. How are we gonna do this? But once you kind of get over that, and it's like, all right, well, come to grips with it. No need to freak out. Let's just evaluate our options. Let's set a course of action and let's execute it. So that's what we did. We
Mhm.
got a dumpster there, tracked down the pavers that we wanted to use, got those very quickly, and just kept things moving. A little bit of a hiccup this week, but we have it's all water under the patio now.
Exactly. I think
You
that
know
is
what I
the
mean?
saying, yep. Yep, yep.
That's the saying. So,
Yeah.
how was your week? Anything of note happen?
Sorry, my dog's barking. That was pretty much it, was the patio thing, but I gotta be honest, I think they made the right call.
Yeah.
I know you disagree with me, but the, um, the color was different than it appeared in other marketing materials, so it was, I felt it was a little bit bright, so I do think that they made the right call, and I'm glad that they brought it to our attention in a timely manner.
Yeah. Yeah.
It would have been
Absolutely.
we could have gotten way farther into the process, and then it would have been a way bigger problem, so, all
Yeah.
in all, I think it's for the best, and I like the new color that they picked, and I think it looks great now,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah.
even better.
Absolutely. So it's really difficult to capture the exact hue of any material through a
It really
picture
is. Yeah.
because you can show a lot of different pictures of it. Because like even when I took a picture of it laying on the ground, it doesn't look
Mhm.
exactly the same depending on the lighting.
Yeah.
And I liked
It's
it.
so true.
I liked it, but I also like what they went with. We decided to go on a neutral gray, and that looks great too. So
Yeah.
uh, they're happy. I still think it looks awesome. So it's still something I'm going to be very proud of when we're finished. And everybody's happy. Everybody's
Yeah.
happy, and we got a little bit of a workout in the process.
Yeah.
Moving on, moving on. Why don't we just hop into our topic for today?
Alright,
And
alright, alright.
yeah, this is something that you were like, hey, you know what? This is a good topic to talk about because
Yeah.
it's very topical, and
I think I have a lot to
it's
say about it.
I have a lot to weigh in on, and some
Yeah.
questions that I
Yeah.
think are good to ponder here. And you may have heard of this place, Cracker Barrel. Cracker Barrel. My God, I never thought that
Cracker
Cracker
Barrel.
Barrel would be in the news. I don't even know why I'm saying
An
the
American
news.
staple.
I don't know why I'm saying the news. I don't know if it was on the news. It's social media.
Are you kidding? This
Everywhere.
was on the news. This was
It was.
huge. Yeah.
They still doing the news? Is that still a thing?
I think sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Um, you see it, you saw it everywhere. It's kind of had its time, and that was like kind of last week. But the logo change of Cracker Barrel. My God, the
Yeah.
virality of it, the
It
viral and the
really
outrage. I don't know where it comes from, but it
it
is
was
a sign of the times because there's a lot of other examples of this happening, and we're going to dive into those and just evaluate like what's going on and see how it's kind of trickling into other areas of design. So go ahead. What were you saying
yes.
there?
Well, I was gonna say, it was so outrageous to everyone in this nation, including the President of the United States, who took the time out of what I assume is a busy schedule to tweet about how outraged he was by this logo change. So, this was pretty hard-hitting news. But anyway, so what? You over here gonna say something?
I don't know. No, I'm just I imagine, it's probably a busy day as the president. I don't know what they do all day, but it's probably pretty busy. But yeah, I don't think he's tweeting anymore. I don't think he's tweeting. He's doing it. He's got his
No, he
own
went on the well, last
Truth
night he went on a
Social.
big he went oh, maybe you're right. Maybe it is.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
I don't personally follow him, I'll be honest. But I did see that as I was perusing the internet, he was one of the many people that weighed in on this.
Yeah. It's
The
important
high
stuff.
this is
It's
hard-hitting
the
news.
history of our country.
But
God.
anyway, so this is all part of a bigger trend of lots of brands really simplifying their logos and marketing material. And there's a lot of different theories about why this is happening, and it's, the death of design, high design. And in case anybody is unaware, the Cracker Barrel logo, you've probably seen it because it's been around forever. It's a man next to a little barrel, and it's like swirly and yellow, and it says Cracker Barrel. They simplified it to just a yellow logo that in a, like a brownish color says Cracker Barrel, just plain text, nothing else. And a lot of other brands are doing this, and it's usually trends start with like luxury brands, and then it trickles down into everything else. So like Jaguar, they just did it. Um, Yves Saint Laurent changed their name to YSL, and they have also done it. Burberry did it. There, it's just like a simplification thing. And some people are saying it's just because of this digital age, it's easier to see on like a phone screen and be more easily identifiable. Big, loud, complicated logos are just like easier to miss, and it's just you
Yeah.
want someone to look at your logo and immediately know what's happening. Um, but other people just have this theory that it's just minimal design, like that's just what's in right now, and maybe it'll be cyclical and the more complicated stuff will come back. Although I kind of don't. I mean, maybe in like a big cyclical way, but this trend has been happening for a while, so I
Yeah.
kind of feel like it's just like headed towards simplicity. But either way. But anyway, Cracker Barrel has a bit of nostalgia. It's not a high-end brand, but people are very nostalgic about that place. And that's why I think it hits so hard. Like when Jaguar did it, no one really cared. But Cracker Barrel, you used to go to Sunday brunches there with Meemaw, and now they're changing their logo? The place of all your childhood memories? How dare? So it
Meemaw is
elicits a lot of
rolling over in her grave.
exactly.
She was
So,
buried in a casket full of their sausage gravy, and she's just rolling around in there. How dare you?
um,
This is her legacy. This is Meemaw's legacy we're talking about.
ultimately, Cracker Barrel has decided to go back to their original logo because of all of this outrage. So, all in all, this has just turned out to be probably the greatest marketing stunt any company has ever pulled off ever because no one was talking about Cracker Barrel. Now everyone is talking about Cracker Barrel, and whatever logo they ended up with didn't really matter in the end anyway. But they went
Yeah.
back to the old one to make their fans happy. So, all in all, marketing side, it was a great initiative.
Yeah.
However, they were trying to do that thing that everyone's doing. That's just taking all the colors and fanciness out of logos.
Yeah. And you use the word marketing stunt, and I have seen some theories out there. I don't know if you could really call it a theory. Like, this isn't really like high level conspiracy stuff, but
Hey,
that
go for it.
it
Could be.
was a stunt, that they did this on purpose because they knew it would outrage people. And I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I don't buy that, because even like the people that are Cracker Barrel at their core, whatever, like their CEO and board of directors, they couldn't have possibly thought this many people would care about the logo. Like, it's just not is something that would go through a reasonable person's head. Like, okay, we're gonna change our logo. And since everyone was so passionate about Cracker Barrel's old logo, obviously we know that we're gonna change it, and everyone's gonna get pissed off, and everyone's gonna be talking about Cracker Barrel because it's the most iconic logo in the history of the world. And actually, fun fact here: the original copy of the Declaration of Independence was drawn up on the back of a Cracker Barrel menu.
Oh,
So that's true. I
what a fun
swear.
little tidbit of American history.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so when I first saw this, the first thing that hit me was pure confusion, because it had all of the signs of the, go woke, go broke kind of thing. Where people are
What's
like,
that?
go woke, go broke. You don't know what that is?
No, what's that?
It's like, like the woke culture, and like then brands are doing that, but they're alienating, I guess their sleeping fan base.
Okay, all
You've
right.
never heard this? Go woke, go broke? People
Maybe
use
I
it for
have.
everything. It's like, oh, I don't
The
know.
word woke, I'm so over people using that word. I think it has lost any meaning whatsoever. So I don't like this phrase. But anyway, go ahead.
Agreed. But that's like a huge thing. Like, go woke, go
Yeah,
broke, and it's like, so I'm thinking, oh wait, okay, so was the old logo, like, was that man in there, was he like a renowned slave owner or something? And they were like, okay, we need to be politically correct and take him out of here. No, it's just like a random guy.
it's like the uncle of the owner or something, right?
Yeah, it's just completely random. So I'm like,
Uncle Herschel or something.
something like that. But it had all the
Yeah.
same signs of like, oh, Cracker Barrel, they're trying to be politically correct and take history away from us. But it was
Mm.
like, no, there's just a guy sitting next to a barrel that they took out of their logo. That's what confused me so much. Like, why does anyone care? Why does anyone care about that? Um, and you said that it was also part of a rebrand of like their actual physical locations and simplifying that. And that's where I could see people not getting upset about it. I can't imagine anyone getting really upset about Cracker Barrel doing anything. But if you go there a lot and it's a part of your memory and your history, uh, that is the uniqueness of it. You go in there and
Yeah.
you're like, there's just
The
stuff
tchotchkes.
everywhere.
Yeah.
It's a what? Yeah, tchotchkes.
The tchotchkes. Yeah.
I thought you said it's like a trash case. Yeah, it's like a trash case. There's just
That
stuff
too.
everywhere, random things. There's a little peg game, all that stuff, which is great and is so core to their identity. So I think it would be a bad idea to really go away from that and like simplify the look of their locations. But at the same time, I was just so perplexed by this outrage it was met with, and ultimately, they spent all this money on this rebrand, and for the most part, I think they're ditching most of that. The last time I saw They released a statement through one of their socials, which is funny to even this whole thing is insane, but it
So
is
funny.
so topical.
Yeah.
Um,
It's on their website. They released it's on their website, their statement. So,
and
if
it
you wanna
was,
check
and
it
I guess
out.
they posted it to their Instagram or something, and it was like, but the new logo, just the CB, the simplified, like, shorthand logo was still
Mhm.
their profile pic. So I don't really know what's going on. They said they were bringing Herschel back from the dead.
Yeah.
They were pulling him out of the ground. They were going to prop him up in all the stores, and he was going to be sitting next to a barrel. But I think we can all agree it's very confusing as to why this was such a big deal.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the simplicity of design and where that's headed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's part of a bigger overall trend that is kind of seeping into a lot of aspects of design, um, like home interiors we can take as, like, a little microcosm. Like, back in the '60s and the '70s, you wanted to have a colorful house. That's why all these houses have, like, hot pink tiles or lemon yellow tiles. Um, Everybody wanted really bright colors and lots of intricate details, and it was very high design focused. And now for our generation, what's the trend of millennials? Millennial gray. Put LVPs down everywhere and make sure they're gray and paint your walls gray. And
Yeah.
everything in your house needs to be gray and sterile. And we're going to
Except for the
call it
cabinets, they need to be white.
minimalistic. Yeah, you can have white cabinets.
The base
Everything
cabinets
needs
can
to
be
be
gray, but the tops need to be white.
that's how you get fancy if you
Yeah.
want to put the different colors on the
Yep.
top and bottom cabinets. But
Yeah.
that to me is like the quintessential example of the death of design. Our generation is known for millennial gray. How sad is that?
That
So
is that is pretty sad, yeah, that we're known for the color gray. Um,
so it's kind of seeping into design too, and I kind of see it in the way of outdoor living for us, where how people like people used to want I want natural wood, I want woodworking, and I want fancy this, I want fancy that. And in the '90s, when if somebody redid their outdoor living space in the '90s, you had those grand palatial like fireplaces. You know what I'm talking about? I don't even know how to describe them, but that was like the staple. Next to your pool, you had this grand stone, I guess, fireplace with a
yeah,
huge chimney, like a standalone chimney.
masonry.
Lots of masonry.
Yeah.
And now people like they want composite so you don't have to do any maintenance, which I don't disagree with. But it's just kind of like I want an outdoor space, I want it to be there, but I don't want to have to necessarily maintain it or do anything. And a lot of the products are kind of going that way too, where it's like I don't want to have to I want to enjoy this space, but I don't want to put any extra effort into it. You know what I mean? I think people want it to look good still, but
Yeah.
kind of but they're willing I think people are starting to they're willing to sacrifice design elements for simplicity of maintenance, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah, I think that totally makes sense, but I have a little bit of pushback there because I think that especially when it comes to design of spaces and interior design, architecture, all of that kind of stuff, that stuff
Mhm.
is so cyclical. And one of the things that I can point to, like right now, that's becoming very popular is these like really audacious, bright, in your face wallpaper patterns that people are doing. You know, they're doing it in entryways, they're doing it in, the you see it all the time in a downstairs powder room. You got to do a fun wallpaper. You have to.
People do yeah, that is a thing.
They love to do that.
That is a
So
thing.
I think it is I think it's cyclical. I think there's like kind of two different directions of it and two different categories of it. One is like the builder grade stuff where I think that is just like a byproduct of capitalism. Like, let's just build it kind of as cheap as possible,
Yeah.
for a lack of better words. I mean, that's
It's
pretty
the
much what it is.
Formica marble countertops. We
Yeah.
want it to look good and clean enough that it passes for something maybe else.
Yeah. Yeah. Like let's do it as simple as possible so that it's easy to build. It's
Repeatable. Yep.
repeatable, all of that kind of stuff. So there's that. And then I think that there is the higher end stuff, the higher end architecture, design, custom homes. And a lot of that is also going more minimalist, simple. Um, it's but just a couple years ago, it was like everyone was doing the modern farmhouse, and that was kinda like almost the that was almost like the modern day Cracker Barrel kind of vibe. It was like, you got your tchotchkes
Exactly, yeah,
everywhere, you got these
but
signs
everybody
on the wall,
yeah,
like, you
everything's
know,
still gray, though.
everything's gray and white and some black, for
Some
sure.
black font that says farmhouse.
Exactly, has to. Obviously, like, what else says farmhouse more than a generic house in a s development?
Yeah.
Totally.
Overall, right now, if you were to go buy a brand new construction home, it's going to be a box that is encloses other boxes. You're not gonna find any builders that are doing, like unless you're going really high end, which I think would still be pretty hard to find someone doing other than something other than boxes, you're not gonna find any sort of, like, interesting architectural details unless it's, like, a custom home. And back in the
Yeah,
day, even those, like, Sears homes that people used to buy, those were even more interesting than, like, the general construction that we have now. So, but that
I would agree
I
with
feel
that,
like
yeah.
that's less of the that's the sacrificing design at the sake of cost. That's not necessarily, like, them, like, following the trend, it's just cost. So,
Yeah, I think
that has kind of a different aspect to it, I suppose.
it's like it's trying to maximize, like, those I wanna say superficial things, but it's like, you want the most square footage that you can possibly get because that's gonna, like
Mhm.
that's what comps are related to.
Yeah.
You said Formica countertops but usually it's, the one thing that's gonna be in there is granite so that they can say brand new
Granite
kitchen with
countertops.
granite countertops. Like, doesn't matter
Yeah.
what they are, but like, that's like, oh, it's got granite countertops. My
Yeah.
God, it's beautiful. It's perfect.
The front of the
All of
house is gonna
these
be stone, but the other 3 sides of it are gonna be vinyl.
exactly. And there's going to be like, no, it's amazing how plain the other three sides of the house are. Like, usually there's one entire side of the house that doesn't even have any windows. So yeah, it's like, they can get that beautiful shot of the front of the house. They can say it's this many bedrooms, it's got this many bathrooms, it's this many square feet. All of the things that like, you could list on a stat sheet and be like, wow, this is wow, this is a beautiful house. It's amazing. But it's really done at like the kind of cheapest way possible in most cases. Um so I think that's what's driving that trend, and it's just gonna, I think, continue until we hit, a point where the housing market is more in equilibrium. Like, right now, there's such a deficit of new construction, like, we need more houses, so I think that's just gonna continue so much more because there's not a surplus of homes out there. You know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like
There's no need to build anything fancy because somebody's gonna buy whatever you build.
exactly. So I
Yeah.
think eventually it gets to a point where that's going to be more in equilibrium, and it's really just like how the home improvement market was a couple years ago through COVID. Like, there was so much demand, like you almost didn't have to do anything special to build a business, to stay busy all the time because there was just so many people that wanted stuff done. And now it's shifted a little bit. People are a little bit more conscious with their money. They're a little bit more reserved. So they're vetting people a lot more. And I think the same thing will happen with housing once it gets to a point where, you know, there's enough houses for the amount of people that need them. And then people that are buying houses can be a little bit more picky, and builders will have to do things to entice people to buy their house instead of some other house that's on the market. So I think that's, really just driven by the market. Um, but you really do see in the custom side this kind of reversion. Is that a word? Reversion?
Sure.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Clo-
a good one. Go ahead.
yeah.
Revision?
Even if it's not, you understand what it means.
Yeah.
A return to things past, like,
Yeah.
Cracker Barrel, for example. Um, so in those new like custom builds, a lot of them are going like sort of that uh updated mid-century modern kind of look. You know what I mean? Kind of simplistic in the shapes and lines, and it's very clean, but it has like some interesting character to the way that everything is kind of put together. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's obviously a reversion to the past in, kind of bringing back that style. So I think it's very cyclical, and I think it's really the same thing with logos. The only thing that I think makes any sense really is like things are being seen in a different way instead of it being seen um in a magazine or on a billboard. Like everything, like most interactions with most brands are happening on somebody's cellular device in their hand. So everything's smaller. It's, easier if it's clearer to be read. So that's the only thing that I think
Mhm.
actually makes sense as to why this would be a thing that continues on and it's not just sort of a phase. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
So
definitely. But I see where their head's at with that, but I don't think that I've, like, read a Cracker Barrel logo in 20 years, like, you just see the picture of it and you know exactly what you see the picture of the colors, you know it's a Cracker Barrel logo. It doesn't have to be, it can be as small as it needs to be. I mean, I guess I get it kind of, but also I'm kinda like, I don't know if it's necessary.
yeah, I mean, I don't think it's I don't think it's necessary for crack. I mean, maybe I'm just a Cracker Barrel hater. Their lifespan is limited.
I
They're gonna
disagree. They've been around forever.
I mean, it seems like
They're
that, but
not
I'm
going
not sure.
anywhere.
Have they actually? Or do they just build them so
Let's
it
see
looks
when it
like they've been there forever? Yeah, we need
let's
some
see when
info
they were
on this.
when they yeah. I feel like I've definitely been going to them since well, not that we go a lot, but I definitely went to one as a kid. Let's
I think
see.
I've probably been
When have
to
you when have
Cracker
you been
Barrel
it?
maybe 5 times.
Times.
5 times,
They were
that's it.
founded in 1969.
Okay, so they're, like, kinda old, not, like, super
Didn't you
old.
work
It's
at a
not like,
Cracker Barrel?
"Bob Evans, how dare
Bob
you?
Evans. Okay,
Down on
sorry.
the farm. How
Sorry,
dare you?"
sorry.
And yes, I did walk out during a rush without telling anybody. I was a cook. Uh,
Ooh,
First
without telling
job.
anybody, you just left?
Yeah, it was kind of an interesting move. So me and I was like 17 probably.
Okay.
My first like real job. You remember Corey from high school?
I do, yep.
So he worked there. He was a cook, and he got me a job there. And I got hired as a busboy, but then like I just came in on the first day and like nobody said anything to me. So like I just went in the kitchen with him, and then I was just like a cook. It was like kind of a
Alright, so a little bit of a
it was not the best ran franchise,
yeah.
I'll say. So yeah, I worked there for a couple weeks and it was actually kind of cool. I actually kind of liked it. The best part about it, if you mess up an order, you get to eat it. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
So you can imagine what that leads to. Who made these mashed potato sandwiches? Oh no, I guess I'm gonna have to eat them. That was one of my favorite things to make. Uh, but yeah, what a mashed potato sandwich? Oh, it was great.
What's on
So
a just mashed potatoes and bread?
yeah, simple, but straight power, straight fuel, nothing but carbs,
Carbo loading, yeah. There you go.
carbo loading. So yeah, then one night there was like this bus station out front, and every once in a while like a bus of like 60 people, like the bus from like New York City got dropped off right in front of the place. So like every once in a while there'd be like 65 people all walking at the same time. And it was like a random Tuesday night, and our manager was, I guess, getting on our nerves. So um Corey went on his dinner break, and then he came back and he was just like, "Do you want to just leave?" And I was like, "Sure." And then we just left and didn't tell anybody. And these other two girls that we went to high school with worked there too, and they're like blowing up our phones, like, "Where are you guys?" And I don't know. Then I just didn't work there anymore. That was kind of it. That was kind of it.
Gosh, okay.
Yeah, I didn't. It
No,
wasn't really well thought out. It was just like he was like, "You want to just leave?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And we
I
went to
feel like
Breeze's
as
Water Ice.
teenage boys, people probably were like, shouldn't your manager have been like,
Are they okay?
for yeah, like, "For your well-being, are you guys okay?"
No, no, he didn't care. He didn't care at
Not
all.
that type of joint, okay.
Not that type of joint. Anyway, I've got quite a few stories about that Bob Evans. The short time I worked there. Well, maybe I'll tell some more later. But yeah. So where was I going with that? I don't know how we got on this, but yeah, Bob Evans, not Cracker Barrel, and yeah, that's kind of what I got. So,
All right. Well,
was there something to tie up there before we got off track? Oh, I've only been there 5 times. Yeah.
you've only been there 5 times.
Yep.
No one should really feel that emotionally attached to Cracker Barrel unless you were part of the Cracker Barrel family. Kind of weird
Yeah.
that anyone did. Kind of weird that we collectively as a nation had a freak out about it.
I
But
agree.
it goes to show the importance of branding and marketing and how people can be emotionally attached to things. So, if you
Yeah.
want to simplify your logo, maybe that's the right move. Or maybe you'll piss off a whole nation and you'll never know.
Still probably good publicity for Cracker Barrel.
Could be. Yeah.
One last thing that I'll say on this whole logo thing, the one kind of outlier I'll say is a few of these brands have never changed their logo. It's always been exactly the same. You see a lot of logos that are going more simplified, and there's a new version of it. And a good example of that is like sports teams. Every maybe 10 years they come out with like a slightly changed logo, and it kind of morphs over time, and it changes and adapts. But there's a couple examples like Jaguar, and another one's Range Rover, that have never changed their logo. Range Rover never had a logo besides Range Rover, just the two words in that same font. And recently they decided to change it up so they have a actual logo, which is like a double reverse R sort of thing. I thought it was pretty cool. But people were not making as much of a fuss, but it was a couple of these examples are things that have been the same for so long, and they're, kind of, leaders in a lot of markets like Jaguar and Range Rover. At least you think of them as a leader because they're luxury brands. In a lot of ways, they're probably struggling to, kind of connect with today's buyer. So it might have been a little bit out of desperation, but it seems a lot more of a shift when something that you've known for so long and it's been exactly the same. Jaguar, Range Rover, Cracker Barrel, three peas in a pod. Obviously, same kind of brands, and that's kind of that's what makes it like maybe there is something to this that this is gonna be a shift that stays, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Take it
I
for
kind
what
of
you
think
will.
you just, yeah, I kind of think you should just start with a very simplified logo
I
and
think
just
so.
stick
Yeah,
with it.
that's
Because if
because
you think
we're
about like
millennials.
Apple,
Make
Apple's
it
always
great.
had a simple logo. Honda
Sure.
always had a simple logo. Range Rover, even though if they've decided to change it, I didn't know that, but they had the benefit of already having a pretty simplified logo. Just don't overcomplicate it.
True. That's true. Well,
Premier
hey,
Outdoor Living, another iconic, simple logo.
absolutely, absolutely. One I'm very proud of. But anyway, speaking of don't overcomplicate it, let's get into. I still gotta get this on my finger. I gotta get this on my board.
You were looking like you were trying to press something. I was like, does he have it? I thought I
That was kind of no, that was kind of a signal for you to press it. But here we go. Construction trivia for this week. I won last week, so
You sure did.
why don't I get the home field advantage? I will ask
All
you a
right.
question first.
Okay, let's hear it.
All right. True or false? The ancient Romans used a type of human powered treadmill crane to lift heavy building materials.
True.
That is true. How'd you know? Have you seen this thing before?
I feel like I saw something with like a yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So it's called a polyspastos, and it's a human powered treadmill crane that allowed a small crew to lift several tons. So it was essentially like a hamster wheel that people walked in to create the power, giving them mechanical leverage to build massive structures like the Colosseum, like erecting huge, huge marble columns. They did this with a human powered treadmill crane.
That's pretty
Pretty
cool.
cool.
Pretty
Pretty cool.
inventive.
Yeah, I would say so. So,
I like it.
good job, Romans.
Thanks.
You guys are my Romans. Anyway.
Okay.
All right. What do you got for me?
Anyway, the primary reason Portland cement is named Portland cement is because it was first manufactured in the city of Portland, Oregon. True or false?
This one seems tough. Portland cement. I don't think so. It's probably been around since before Portland was a thing. I would imagine Portland cement. I'm going to say that is false.
Correct, that is false.
All
Portland
right.
cement was invented in 1824 in England and named after Portland stone, a limestone quarried on the Isle of Portland. The inventor, Joseph Aspdin, thought the finished concrete resembled this prized building stone.
Okay.
So, good job.
Yeah. All right.
Great job.
Whee! 1-1, 1-1. All
One to
right.
one.
Next question. The Eiffel Tower. Are you familiar with this structure?
I do believe so, yeah. Heard of
Well,
it once or twice.
yeah, it's I think it's kind of new. I don't know. Anyway,
Twinkly or whatever.
sure. But the Eiffel Tower is made from over 18,000 individual wrought iron parts. What major environmental factor did its engineers have to specifically design the structure to accommodate? A. Earthquakes. B. Lightning strikes. C. River flooding. Or D. Thermal expansion and contraction.
I'm going to go lightning or thermal contraction and expansion.
Okay.
Lightning, because that's funner.
Lightning is funner. You're right, but you are wrong. It is thermal expansion and
Dang
contraction.
it!
Yeah,
I
yeah.
thought that was probably the answer.
Yeah. Well, you went with the funner one, so
Yeah.
good job. It
Dang
is
it.
thermal expansion and contraction, and like all metals, the tower's wrought iron expands with heat and contracts with cold. And the side of the Eiffel Tower facing the sun can expand so much that the summit temporarily leans up to 7 inches away from the sun. The
That's
tower's open
interesting.
lattice framework and rivet joints were brilliantly designed to allow it to safely flex and shift with these daily temperature swings.
Hmm. I recently saw a TikTok that said if you're ever looking for any sort of wrought iron, anything, product of any kind, you got to search wrought iron because people always spell it wrong. And I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. The simplification of the human mind.
Exactly.
Everyone's becoming more simple. All right.
Okay,
Heavy.
okay. This is a pretty easy one. But in structural framing, which species of softwood is most commonly used in North America? Which is the most commonly used in North America? Dimensional lumber because of its balanced strength, weight, and workability. Southern yellow pine, Doug fir larch, hem fir, or spruce pine fir?
This is actually a tough one because I feel like PT, at least what we use on the East Coast, is always Southern yellow pine.
Mm-hmm.
That's always what they use for pressure treated lumber. And I feel like commonly you call like a non pressure treated 2x4, you call it hem fir. Like that's kind of
Mm,
like the language that a lot of people use, even if you're not really buying hem fir. It's just
the language.
it's just the language. So this is actually a tough one. Yeah, yeah. It's the simplification of the builder's brain. I'm gonna go with hem fir.
That's incorrect. It
Oh,
is spruce pine fir, SPF. SPF lumber, sourced mainly from Canada, is widely used for
SPF.
studs. That's why I didn't say SPF. It's used for general framing due to its cost effectiveness and ease of handling. Doug fir is stronger, but SPF dominates residential framing because it strikes a practical balance of availability and performance.
All right. Well, I'm an idiot. So thanks for queuing that up. Like this is an easy one, but yeah,
Sorry.
SPF.
Well, I figured if I said
SPF. Yeah.
SPF, you probably would have you would have picked that one.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. No, that was a tough one. That was a tough one. Well, okay. 1-1. 1-1. Heading into
One
the
to
final
one.
round. What is the name of the final wedge-shaped stone placed at the top of a masonry arch that locks all the other stones into position? This is an easy one. If you don't
A
get it, you're a
keystone.
dummy.
A keystone.
Damn it, you're right. Yeah. That was an easy one. Okay, yeah. I thought that
Could you
might be
live this
easy.
close to Philadelphia and not know what a keystone is?
That's true. It's the Keystone State. Yes, a keystone is the last stone placed at the apex of an arch, and its weight pushes down and out on the other stones, locking them together through pure compression. And this is what allows them to support a ton of weight without any mortar. And I got an interesting little side fact about arches. And have you ever heard anybody say, instead of like understand, they say overstand. Have you ever heard that?
No, like, I don't
Some
understand it, I overstand it?
No, it's like it's interchangeable, but it comes from like it's just a different way of saying understand because they both come from masonry and the sign of you understanding the the building practice of an arch was for you to build the arch and then stand underneath of it. If it collapses on your head, you did not understand it. You get what I'm saying? Like that's a sign
Is
that
that
you
true,
have
or did you just
mastered it.
completely make that up?
I didn't completely make it up. I heard it somewhere and I'm pretty sure it's true. But there is another, like sometimes people will say overstand, and that's because another way of testing this was to stand on top of the arch and it not only supports itself but it supports your weight, and that was the sign of mastery of arch masonry.
Okay. That may or may not be true, but cool. Cool if it is.
It is definitely interesting either way. May or may not be true, but it's definitely interesting. All right, I need to tie it up here. What do we got?
Alright,
What do we
alright,
got? Last
alright.
question.
Okay. In carpentry layout, what is the
Okay.
specific name of the diagonal brace that temporarily keeps wall studs square and plumb before sheathing is implied? I did not know this.
I'm sounding like a real idiot if I don't. There's a specific name for a wall brace.
Yeah. I hadn't heard this word, and I haven't heard anybody on our team say it.
All right. Well, that gives me a lot of confidence going into this. I feel like I'm going to know it when you say it. A wall brace. A wall brace. I think of anything. I can't even think of anything that sounds like it could be it. Maybe a pressure brace. Obviously not. That's not it. That's not it. What's the answer? I
No.
don't know.
A let-in brace or let-in diagonal.
Okay.
Have you heard that?
No, I haven't. It's obsolete. It's obsolete. Nobody uses that kind of terminology anymore. That question
I feel
is
like this is probably, like, in a book somewhere, but we don't use books, so.
we don't use
A
books.
lead-in brace is notched into studs and nailed in place diagonally across the wall. It prevents racking during framing and before structural sheathing locks everything in.
All right, that's different. I thought you meant it's a plumb brace, tied in perpendicular to it. This is something tied in parallel to it. That question is
It's not
not fair.
parallel, it's diagonal.
Yeah, but it's within the wall. It's not like how we plumb up, when you stand up a wall and then you plumb it, you nail it to the side of it and then you have a brace coming back down. It's a it's a let-in brace. That I knew. I didn't know it was called that, but
That changes everything, yeah,
it
sorry.
changes everything, Catherine. I win. Not only did we tie, but you're disqualified for that crazy question. No, I didn't know that. So interesting. And I'm just always happy to learn is really the most important part.
That is, and we both had fun.
And we both had so much fun, and it's not even like competitive at all.
Nope.
So whatever. But anyway, the death of high design. I think there's this is a double-edged sword here. We've got a lot of factors that go into it, and I think that in a lot of ways today's world, today's society is just lacking the focus that it takes to really create something that is novel and unique. I think people's attention span is just so watered down that it leads to a lot less of these creative, interesting things that people take pride in their own home. People are so focused on other things that they just can't be bothered to, or they're not even capable of really investing a lot of thought and, their own character into where they call home. So, I think it's cyclical, but it's also a sign of where we are as a society that everything is so based around speed and instant gratification that it dumbs down and waters down a lot of the details that set apart great architecture from not so great architecture. So, same thing can go for branding. Take a second, evaluate that within your own business and your own life. I don't know, do whatever you want with it. Not gonna tell you what to do, but, do whatever you want. So, but just think about it for sure. Definitely think about it. So, that's all we got for this week. Thank you, Catherine, for being my co-host on this happy hour. If you got anything out of this episode, please leave us a review. It helps more than you know. And while you're at it, tell a friend about it.
Yeah.
if you have
That's a
any.
nice idea.
And if we're your
That's
only friends, that's okay.
that's
We're here
okay.
for you. So, till next time, this has been the Hardworking Happy Hour.
See you next week.